Alrighty, let's see if we got some sound and if it's happening. Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Yep, there it is. I hear it. I hear me. The voice of my own master. Me. All right, what do we got going on this morning? Let's take a look at it. We can see the euro holding very firm. Cable's doing the same thing. There's cable. And we tried, wouldn't want to call it pushing it down towards the end of the day yesterday. Just kind of sloppy action. You could see whereas the euro stayed up, it just didn't close at the high of the day. We are now cruising along on, let's see, line 14. So we're 4 full days now on a daily buy. And the product is trying to lift up in here. You can see that. And, basic active trading, I guess you could call it. Markets, it doesn't seem like I said, it's the summertime. I said it yesterday. The next, 3 to 5 weeks, the markets are going to be really, really hesitant and then active and then hesitant and active because it's the summertime. It'll take real news to get it to move, something relatively dramatic. Around now these days, what is relatively dramatic is, I don't want to call it a guess, but, when you have a Dow Jones Industrial Average that can go up or down 1,000 points on a given day, like yesterday it was up 500 points. That's a, we've got a real market nowadays, when it comes to the equity market. They're really running around and very active. So what we have here now is the indices trying to lift, and at the same time, last I looked, even the dollar index was trying to go up. That's a real confusion in its own right. It's been in a sell for about 5 or 6 weeks, as you can see online. Let's go to fact check sheet. Right there, 7 full weeks in a weekly sell. It hasn't, it's been going sideways to down, kind of a little up, it's going nowhere. Has that same look, I guess, in many ways, like when we look at the Turkish Lira, where it just seems to be locked in an incredibly tight range. So you can see here the strength today. It's heading up just like it should, since our math is saying it is. And we've been in a buy since here, in this area here, and you can see it's trying to lift, it's doing its job. And you can see here on the J4X, it's, showing even more strength. And, maybe we're going to get even a more pop and go after this high in here. All right, let's drift over to, what's next? Let's take a look at cable. And cable is doing the same thing. It's acting very well, very firm. That's if you're long. If you're not long, then it's not acting very well to you. And you can see here, the product is doing the same thing above all the other 2 lines on J4X. And then we'll take a look at it over here on the Chicago Quant, our algorithmic action right there. Same thing. You can see it's been in a daily buy for 3 full, I guess it's 4 days now too also. Just marching along, lots of green dots, trying to lift. But what's curious here is whereas in the euro, I don't think it was below the weekly number. We have the cable floating along underneath the weekly number. Let me just go back to the let's go back to the euro. I just want to make sure. I'm almost sure it's not underneath, or I would have mentioned it. My subconscious would have spotted it. Yeah, see, it's not. It's relatively tight also. No, that's it right there, I believe. Yeah. No, that's the end of last week. And so there it is right there. So it is also banging, it shows to be on the negative side. I believe that's, it's on just a tad, almost on the 0 line, 0.00041. You can see it. It's in plot 1 there. So put plot 1 in there. It is. You can see a little darkness there on the corner there. And so now it's 4.2, plot 1. So... these weekly buys that they've been in, I guess we're coming to an end, and the dollar is flirting. Let's go hunt down the dollar index. We usually don't look at the dollar index because I don't usually look at the markets through the eyes of any of our American products. But you can see here it's lifting. It's trying to get going. Now we've been in a weekly sell since here, and had this nice sloping down and then sideways action in here, and you can see it's worked its way up and. A lot of buys, a lot of daily buys, and it's now trying to lift into the buy zone. And that's I guess that's a as much as I hear everybody on here go, oh, when's the dollar is so strong, it's so strong. I'm like, it's been going down though. I mean, it's come down. So that's the thing that always, to me, yeah, overall the dollar is strong. Parler's growth. How about that? There's a competitor to Twitter. I think I'm gonna have to keep an eye out on. Parler. Huh. Interesting. I think we may drift into some, because Twitter seems to be like a real sewer. So a Twitter alternative. I like that. Parler. Interesting. I'm seeing a financial tape talking about that. So we'll just have to move a little bit deeper into looking at that. I want to put that on. I want to write that down real quick. Let me do that. I have one of the televisions has that on. Parler, Parler, Parler posts. That's interesting. Okay, there we are. All right, I will be able to. Parler. Did I spell that right? Yes, I did. Okay, excellent. All right, so yeah, that's where you can see the dollar index is trying to lift now. So I guess we're going to get another bout of real strength, not just real strength. Solid, long-term, consistent strength. That's the thing is, for a long while, the dollar has been going. Let's see if we can go back a little bit further. Yeah, it's been. It's kind of in the middle of the range when you look back since 2000. So just trading just a little bit above from where it started in January. So right in here, you see that. Excellent. All right, let's head back to the pairs and we'll go right to the Turkish Lira. See what I mean about that? It's like that's the way the dollar is, just kind of flatlined. But maybe we're actually going to see some strength in there. We don't want to see any strength in there. That's the problem. Is we would like to see the dollar to just chill, just stayed here, maybe go down a little bit more. Would be nice. Let's head over to right there, the J4X, and we'll put that up there now. There it is. And you see, again, a little strength, still pushing, but look how flat that is. Look what's been going on there. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, for all, normally Doc is the first to say, oh my God, they're doing this or they're doing that, geopolitically, and that usually has the product going up and down. We've gotten to a point now where it seems like no one cares. It's gone the opposite. The Turkish Lira just seems to be really, really dead, and I don't understand. I guess it's maybe they've gotten burned out. I mean, when you have a product that goes from 1.5 to the dollar to 7.3 to the dollar, over a 5 or 6 or 7, what's that, 6-7 year period. Let's take a look at that. Maybe we're seeing the burnout of the summer finally hitting it. Okay, so here's a weekly chart. Let's see if we can go back and see if we can ferret it out. There's 17. There is, so 5 years ago, it was trading in the 2.2 area with a low of 2.1. And 6 years ago, we were in the 1.7 area. You see it there on the screen there on J4X, 1.7 area. So, over a 5-6 year period, wow, look at that. At one point, when President Erdogan got into office, it was trading in when he was a prime minister. When he became prime minister, it really started to pick up. So if his objective was to push the currency up into the double digits, he's done a good job there. And I guess, like I said, about the last 6 years, the thing has gone from the 1.7 area, I guess it is, to the 7.3 area. Ouch. That's a pretty tenacious move. That's a wild inflation, doubling each year almost. Like I see, like then 3.4 over a 2 year period. For every 2 years it doubles, and then 2 years, and then 4 years it gets to 6.8, and then and now it's in the third level of doubling, and it's gone to 7.3, which is it seems to be stalled. Maybe that could be literally part of it all right now. Some money may be in maybe stunned and kind of like locked in. Just don't know what to do at this point. And maybe the commerce in Turkey is just not that active right now. So there's not much of a reason to, uh, get involved in the currency. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're not trading a lot. Maybe they're doing more domestic. Maybe that's what their objective was, is to remove international commerce and just become domestically inclined, which would cut back on the expense of currency. Knowing that you needed 7 of those things for $1 versus 1.5 of them or 2 of them. So that would be about the best way to look at it. All right. Where do we go from here? Let's head over to Canadian. Canadian's still in a daily sell, and we'll put it back into a daily right there. You can see even now, you can see the J4X is trying to bounce back up on the Turkish Lira there, trying to get back through the lines. I don't know. I just follow the numbers in the end. I try to create an idea or some type of relationship of concept why it may be doing something, but in the end result is the math is the math. Now there's the Canadian. It came in a sell, and that's line 20. So we're 7 weeks in a sell and 4 days in a sell. You can see it's trying to lift up today, but we are down at the bottom end of the range here. So let's take a look at Canadian. Right there. As you can see, we're getting a red and green dot, and you can see the weekly has jumped over the 0 line. It's flirting with it's only Tuesday, so it's flirting with the idea that it might get some action going in there. You can see we've been in a weekly sell since right here, since the 140 area. We fell down to about 134 out of it all, and now we're at 130, basically in the 136 area. We'll see if that starts to get some legs. It closes in a weekly buy, and maybe we get into a daily buy today. It's very close right there too. See if we can widen this. There we go. So that's it's a start, to see if the Canadian starts to move back up. I think, usually I interpret that as like some type of oil thing going on, or some type of economic thing. So let's just take a quick look at oil. Now oil went out last night. Where's it at? There, 9 weeks in a buy and 5 days in a buy. So let's take a look at oil and see if there's is it being sold off this morning? That can be an initiator for weakness in the currency. There it is there. It is showing to be down, but not anything dramatic. And it's doing that Turkish thing, really tight market. See, this is rolling over. It has reached some type of high in there. You've got like 3 peaks going on there. I guess you could have 1 peak there, 2 peaks there, 3 peaks. This could be the dome, and it breaks down and then falls back down into the 35 area that a few people here have mentioned. Looking for the 35 area. If we can get into a daily sell, in a very low active way, I think traders want to try to play the downside of this action that might be there. And the same thing with let's see where the weekly is. 9 weeks in a buy. And is that it there? No, that's not it. That's the Canadian. Let's put it on here. There we are. August crude oil. You can see it's very close on the edge. You can see the curve we're getting here for the weekly, just like we are seeing it right here on the J4X. You can see it's trying to roll over. So we'll follow that, see what's going on with that action, and we'll go from there. I guess that's That's the excitement of it all. Wonder what they're doing with the gold. Is gold down? Must be. There's pressure there. Let's put gold in. We'll take a look at that now. Oh, let's finish this off in a sense that what we do is we usually look at the Canadian and then we go right to the NASCAD when we look at oil. So let's go to the NASCAD and take a peek at that for traders who are paying attention to the NASCAD and trying to adjust their positions who follow us. NASCAD. There she blows. The white whale. There we are. Showing some strength there. So no, it's been lifting. Look at that. NASCAD's been rolling up. Let's take a look at it on the Chicago Quant. Let's see what they're doing on that. Let's see. Right there. NASCAD. Right there. Now it's rolling over. And do I have it here? I do have it here. I'm a little surprised. You can see the rate of change is rolling. See if this fast-moving stochastics rolls over by the end of the day. You can see on ours it's already starting to roll over. And you can see that the weekly is getting down towards some of its lowest points since it's been in a buy. We got a lot of green dots going on in there, so it does seem like there's buying more than there is selling. So the white line is truly representing that very clearly. We'll see what this does here. All right, now we've cleaned off the oil market. Let's look at the gold market. And we will slide over to gold. And when I say cleaned off the gold oil market, we've looked at NASCAD, Canadian against the dollar, and we've actually looked at oil itself. Okay, so now here you can see gold down a little bit in here. You see it's been working down there with the line. Let's see what it looks like on this above you. NASCAD gold. Oh, there it is. There's gold. Okay, so you can see here it's also aiming down like the way it is on J4X. And, the RSI is dropping hard and fast. And we are getting smaller and smaller, but they're still in buys. See how they play this out during the day. It's been, oh, hey, MXB. Please give me today a trade of 500 pips target. A 500 pips target. Not watching chat? No, I looked over and just saw it. 500 pip move. What could you trade that would give you a 500 pip move? Is that what you're saying? Let me think. There's a couple things. That crude oil one's one to keep an eye on. That could be literally a $5 move down. That I think it was Kristen was asking about it. But like last week. When is oil going to see 35? Would not surprise me if we got into a sell and it went there. That would not surprise me. I would say that crude oil has a shot, but not at the moment. We're waiting for a sell before you do it. Let me think. Who else? A 500 pip move. Who else is sticking out there? And I'm sure you mean like over like a couple week period, not like in the next 10 minutes. Let me think. What else is there? You would think the stock market might do a little topping out, but we're seeing some weakness. The Dow Jones ETF went into a daily sell yesterday. The S&P 500 is also in a daily sell. And then the Nasdaq is lifting the whole market up. So that would be an interesting one. It could be over in stock indices too. Anything commodities and forex. Yeah, I'm thinking. Well, we were real bulls on the on soybeans. Let me see if I can show you soybeans. But soybeans has played most of that out already now. See that there? It ran from like the 8.5 area, 860 area, up to the 7. I'm sorry. Was that 8? Yeah, 8 to 9, 12 area, and that's that's pretty good, for a move over a couple day period. And corn was the initiator there. Corn took off a little bit earlier and caught pretty much most of that ride. Cattle's been looking good, but nothing really strong there. I'm thinking if you're going to try to find one, I would think it might be the oil. We might see a 35 oil. It wouldn't surprise me if we did. And so, but we need to get into a daily sell. It needs to get into a daily sell, and it would be wonderful. It's in a weekly sell. I think if you're looking for a 500 pip move, it could come in that area. I was thinking silver had the potential to be a 500 pip up move, not down move. So it really says a lot about both of those, To me, whenever I see weakness in the oil, I think of weakness in the metals, and vice versa. So, they may delay us a little bit longer on the strength in silver. But one thing's for sure, open interest has been expanding. Robin was saying to me yesterday he saw open interest expand. Max, how are you? I hope the summer's treating you well. I've not talked in a while. So, yeah, I would say, again, it's the summertime blues. So we're really seeing a lot of strange action in here. But that would be the way to, if you're looking for a 500 pip move, I'm still thinking that the best of the two could be silver on the upside or gold, not gold, oil on the downside. But we need the numbers to move into positions first to do it. They haven't reached that situation yet. You know what I mean? That's not the game to play at the moment. Not the game to play at the moment. All right. Let's see now. What else can we look at here? Let's see. 500 pip move. I can't. We caught the soybean one. I'm trying to think if I'm seeing anything in the commodities more than that. When it comes to the currencies, the central banks are really aggressive about big moves. They try to stop them. They're hell bent on stopping them. That's for sure. Let's take a look at silver real quick. Do we have gold up there? No, that's corn. Let's put gold up there. There's the gold. And we had it up there a few seconds ago. And let's do this. There it is there on the J4X. You can see it's trying to work its way down. You see the curve going on here. So, and in silver actually pushed into the daily sell yesterday. I noticed it this morning. Last night it wasn't there, but this morning it was. So let's find that. There's silver there. See that? They've pushed it into it there. So we've got ourselves some weak action going on in this product right there. Thought it was getting ready to cancel. I thought it was getting ready to make a move on the upside, and it just keeps on. Every time it makes its a drive, it stalls out. I mean, it flat out stalls out. So at this point, I guess maybe they need to take it down one more time, something like that. You looked at the dollar? Yeah, I actually looked at the dollar for a change, because it's starting to, here it is on the spreadsheet, line 7. We don't usually follow the dollar. We follow all these pairs instead. And dollar is 7 weeks in a sell. And let me show you. The little index that is trying to, where is it at? Where are you? Is trying to get into a buy. Right there. See, it's trying to get into a buy. If we widen that out, we were looking at, it's a little above the January lows, but you can see here it's trying to get into a buy. You can see the weekly's trying to shift direction. When everybody around here says to me, "Oh, the dollar's so strong, it's like, no, it's been in a correction. Now it may start, when someone now says it's getting strong, it might be like, uh-oh, it is getting strong. HV, you looked at the dollar. Yeah. How about dollar pound? Yeah, we did look at that. That's acting pretty well, the dollar pound. Go right back to it. I was doing my normal rhythm, going to euro, from euro to cable to dessert to the Turkish Lira. So I have no problems going back and looking at these things. I like looking at them more in depthly. If you guys ask questions like this, then I start to put my thinking cap on and we start to find ideas, I like that. Ideas. Let's see. No, not that one. That's euro. Right there. Now, what's really a conundrum here is check out what it's doing with my algorithm. Right here. The weekly, it's drifted underneath the weekly, see? Right there. So, it's a summertime market. We're seeing a lot of garbage action. Yeah. Oh, cell number in AUDJPY. Let's see what that looks like. Let's see. Cell number in let's see. Let's find that to start off with. AUDJPY. Do I have that one? I don't think I do. Let's put it up there. AUDJPY. AUD. Let's activate that, and then we'll make a copy of it and put that in there. And we'll come up with a number for that. Paste window. Just double check it. Should be down at the very, very bottom. There it is. Activate, and then let's put AUDJPY in. There it is. There's the daily. And here's the weekly. Well, you see here it's pushing into a sell right now. It's been in a buy for, I don't know, what is that? Since here. So it's been in a buy for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 weeks. So it went into the buy somewhere in the 66, 67 area. And where is it at now? It's trading in the 76 area. So it went up 10 handles. That's 1,000 pips. So the sell number is, where are we at on this? So the sell number right now is, where is it at? 74. Let's see. Let me see where that is. Plot 1 is minus 18, so I moved that up. All right, so the weekly sell number is, we'll give it to you in a second here, 74.97. 74.97. I think I have a spot on the chat thing there too for it. 74.97. Let's put it in there. 74.97. There we are. Right there. Yeah, I guess that's why it's on this little list down at the bottom, because so every so often you ask. That's good. You ask, I will put it up on there. Let's see. So let's see. And GPP. Did we go any further in conversation on that? I don't think we did we? Do you want the cell number on that? Let me know if you want the cell number on that. And then let's see. The GBP, I think, as I showed you, it's doing the same thing. It's pushing down. A lot of these are, and which, like I said, looking at the dollar index for the first time in 7 weeks, it's actually trying to climb into a weekly buy. So, this might be the sign of action to come. Now, is there any particular pairs trade I think that could move a couple hundred pips on that? I guess, if they sold the cable, I guess, or the euro. I mean, maybe a couple hundred pips there. That could be over, if we get into a sell. I mean, both of them have been in weekly buys. So, and again, this is the worst time of the year to trade. Right now is the worst time of the year. For the next 4 to 5 weeks, it can be extremely sloppy. So in other words, there's not a lot of follow through. You put a position on, you think, okay, it's just dropped 150 pips. And the next thing you know, you find out it drops another 25 pips over the next 4 days. It does nothing. Yes, I was just confirming with your analysis. Thanks. We are on the same page on AUD. Oh, okay, cool. What's it? Plank says AUD dollar. Yeah, let's take a look at that. We have that at the top of the list. Right there, you can see it's 12 weeks in a buy. Right there. 4 days in a buy. Let's put it up on J4X. There it is right there. And you can see it's 2 now trying to roll over. It's doing a little rollover today. You can see rate of changes, but the stochastic is not moving down like that yet. Now let's take a look at it on our quant. And you can see here the weakness is kicking out. I guess it's been in a, yeah, okay. So what did I say the other one was in? JPY, I don't think we put a number in there. It was in a weekly buy for what, 13 weeks? Or at least 12. So I think it was 13 weeks. This was the 14th week. So that went into a weekly buy a week ahead of this, the AUD dollar pairs trade. So it went into the buy here. There we are. And so that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. So it went in a week later. And that was an interesting move, with that. Let's see. AUD. So the sell there would be, let me see what the plot number is. So plot number is, okay, so we're looking at a weekly sell number of 68.12. Is that right? No, wait a minute now. No, 69, 68. Let's see. So 68.86. 68.86 is the weekly sell. 68.86. Where are you? 68. 80, make it 87. That's close enough. There's the weekly sell there. So it's trying. We've got some real weakness in here, and if it just stays like this, hesitant, it could even be more pressure on the product. We'll see. I'm not really convinced on anything at this point. I think that one of the things I don't like about the mid-July to mid-August market is that follow-through really disappears quickly. One moment you think the markets are going to go take a directional trade, and it starts up, and then it gets sloppy. It's a great, it's a good time to trade intraday, but it's a very tough time to trade week to week because sometimes the momentum just isn't there. I mean, at this time of the year, it's probably like the worst of the momentums. Worst of the momentums. There we go. And so, that's the whole gist of it all, I guess you could say. Is that what we have now is that we have the market's going in such a ugly sideways action. Don't get fooled with the market trying to make a move like you want to was it MHB was saying what could move 500 pips, what's a good trade out there, and I could see oil having some follow through if they put some pressure on it, but on the other products I'm not really sure we can see a lot of follow through right now, and that's really the key right there is keeping an eye on what will do will follow through with some momentum. So that's the key there. Hope I've answered everything. If I haven't, throw it up on the chat line again. I'll look and we'll go after it again. I'm just looking through there now. Okay, so everything is, yeah, it looks like it. So, let's see, where did we leave off at? So that is I guess that's, what is that? That's AUD? Is that AUD? Yeah, that's AUD. Okay. So now let's drift over to the Swiss and see what the Swiss is up to. You can see Swiss has been gliding nicely, from this area here, this plateau. And it's just becoming more and more valuable. And let's take a look at it on J4X. Right there. And that's that is the action of it all. We're seeing the Swiss franc, ever since they put out that article about how wealthy they are from buying. Imagine they put that article out, and the Nasdaq was just like 200 points or 400 points away from all-time highs. Now we are, I don't know, like 400 or 500 points above all-time highs. They have the largest. I think they have the largest. Their largest position, I know, is Apple Computer. Okay, so the stock yesterday was up $8. They've invested very well as a central bank. What are your thoughts on the commodity pairs with respect to global macroeconomics, time horizon by year end? I want to say that I'm relatively bullish. I think that's the best way to describe it. There's no doubt that this virus thing is going to drive everybody crazy. They report cases, but there's no deaths. We're at a point where the deaths are incredibly low, if at all. There's literally days where people don't even die from the virus. So that will put strength in a lot of things. I would, the Chinese still need to buy something like, I don't know, a couple $100 billion worth or $100 billion worth of corn and wheat and soybean. So there's pressure there. I think crude oil is going to bounce between the low 40s and the high or mid 30s until they see, more signs of growth. I think that the stock market has the potential to keep on moving up because it's the only game in town. And if there's thousands of funds, and if you're a fund, you've got to own stock. So the pressure is, I guess we used to say you hold your nose and you buy. And that's probably what we're seeing there. So I would say, yeah, I would look at that. And in pairs, they seem to have the currencies pretty under control, pretty well under control. I don't find a lot of noise coming out of that. I mean, look at the Tesla action. This Nasdaq 100, or what Dukascopy has it labeled as, is the American Tech 100, which is a better name, I think, personally. I like the idea of the Tech 100 because that is really what it is. And this thing is going to all-time highs, and this is what the Swiss National Bank, their central bank, owns a good chunk of that. Matter of fact, 50% of their stock holdings is in 5 of the top major stocks in there. So they're like long Apple Computer, Amazon, Alphabet, which is Google. They're long Facebook. They're long. I think they're long Netflix too. They've got some big positions in some of those things. Do I have them all? What's FANG? FANG is Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. And then they have a couple. I think they might have something else in there. And then, so that like a major chunk of their investment portfolio is going through the roof. I mean, it is just flying up. So no wonder the currency is constantly strong. They're making billions of dollars from this action. And then yesterday with Apple, that is the largest position they have. They have some wild number in there, like, I don't know, 20, 28, 35, $40 billion worth of Apple. And that was up $8 yesterday. I mean, they may have made $2 billion or, I don't know, $1.5 billion yesterday just from that, maybe a couple $1 billion yesterday, just in the one move. So I hope that answers your question. I don't expect to see, let's put it this way. If they come up with something that really closes this virus thing off altogether, then you can really be looking for some bigger moves. You know what I mean? I think the Trump is going to carry the day, and he's going to win, and it's going to be even more aggressive and positive for America. When I say aggressive, aggressive economically in a positive way. And that's really what it all comes down to. MHB, wow. In a day, it is a lot of money. It is, I mean, it's, that I have the portfolio. Matter of fact, I did a webinar or two on it. I was so impressed. I was, classic Doc. It was a Saturday night. I wasn't doing anything, and I was just running through all kinds of stuff, and I took apart the portfolio of the National Bank of Switzerland, their central bank, their Federal Reserve. And it was like, wow, what a great portfolio they have. If I was a central banker, I'd be doing that too. I'd be like, loading the boat up, and you can always, dollar cost average in, and you can buy puts to protect yourself, and you can sell calls against it. You're the Federal Reserve. You can do anything you want. I mean, it's like a really great. It's like the old days of money funds, when money funds were actually intelligent. The central banks now are the only real intelligent entities when it comes to investing. So, yeah. And, think about the size of the country. Think of the size of the portfolio. Yeah, they probably ripped it yesterday. I mean, let me see if I can show you some of the action that was going on over there yesterday. Ripped it through the roof. Baseball term there. You ripped the cover off the ball. You hit it so hard, someone bowls a googly and you hit a sixer. For you cricket fans out there. And let's see, right there. There we are. All right, so that's what is that? That's Tesla. Yeah, Tesla was on a tear yesterday too. They're threatening to make. I mean, right now Elon Musk might be the richest man in the world. I mean, he's got a lot of stock options in that company. But let's see if I can get that. That is yesterday, and in pre-market they've got it up more. Where did it settle yesterday? It settled at. It's only up $12 or something like that. All right, now Apple, right there, you can see Apple's holding on firm also. You can see that's where it closed on Thursday, because remember we had no market on Friday. So it closed at 364 and 11 cents, and yesterday it closed at 373.85. 74. It's like almost $9+ My God, I mean, it was almost $10 up move. And when you have $35 billion worth of that stuff, wow. What is that? Just divide 100 into a 35 billion. They'll tell you how many shares they have. I mean, that's pretty hot stuff. In crude oil, what is your watching? What am I watching? I'm watching the daily sell. I think that's the best way to start off with, to try to figure out what's going on there. Let's just go back over to that. Oh, and then let me just show you. Here's their second largest holding right there, Amazon. And Amazon, was up. Right now, it's trading at 3,000. Wow, $3,071. And yesterday it closed at $3,057. So it's up a little bit again today. And then what I'm looking for over in the oil market is, where is it at? Right there. Right, where are you, oil? Right there. There's the oil. So see how it's getting tight? Right here, it's getting tight, trying to roll over. The weekly is heading down. It's curving. Over in J4X, we've got the same type of action going on. See the same stuff going on here. You can see the rate of change has been buried. They've flatlined. It could literally be, this could be the dome. It could fall back to the 34.5, 35 area, something like that. That's what I'm watching for. If I can get a daily sell, I think I might buy some put spreads. And then if I get into a weekly sell, then I might go harder in delta. So that would be the action. That's what I'm thinking about right there. So I want a daily sell first. Once we get a daily sell, I'll start to do something, even with a weekly buy, as long as it's aiming down. And so that's what I'm looking at. So we'll just keep on watching it until it happens, or if it happens, that type of thing. Let's see, what's next? Where do we go from here? Oh, you know what we didn't look at? Let's take a look at the yen and all that craziness going on in Asia right now. You know, with China. China's really just driving everybody crazy. The communists have really gone, full-fledged hammer and sickle. Let's see. There it is right there, yen. Now yen is moving up a little bit in here. You can see that. We are line 19 on the fact check sheet. 3 weeks in a sell and 2 days in a sell, and it's lifting up here. You can see the weakness we had from it. So let's see what we can find here. Ooh, I can feel the heat starting to kick on. Let me shut the windows real quick around here and turn the air conditioning on. So, hey, Robin. Okay, I'm back. I just wanted to turn the air conditioning on because it just had that feel. I had the windows open, and it just had that feel like a little burst of heat. We've been in the 90s. So, let's see. Robin, get your free. Oh, okay. You're talking about the algo. Cool. So, yeah, that's what we'll watch for when it comes to the oil. Now, yen. I was looking at the yen. Let's see, did I put the yen in over here in the algo? Let's see. Let's go to there. Dookie Day. Week. Yen. Yen right there. Wow, look at that. They're still trying to push this thing down hard. It's going to take a little work to get this thing into the buy, but the daily's starting to flirt with it. Look how tight the time manifold is. So we could end up closing in a daily buy today, and maybe it'll try to push the weekly into a better direction there. But right now, oh yeah, Charlie Daniels, the country singer, passed on. Kind of not bad in age, 90, was it 64, 84 years old. Little young, kind of. I'm always thinking in the 90s with my family, so everybody seems to pass on in the 90s. So I'm a little, and usually everybody has their mind. I actually could. There's a good chance that I could be 90 years old and still have the same wacko mind that I have right now, because everybody seems to have that ability all the way up, right up to death's door, to be coherent. So that's always nice, unless I'm like rambling about squirrels out the window. So yeah, look at that on the J4X too. Look at the white line. They're burying that puppy. Now the rate of change is obviously picking up the short term. But the overall, the stochastic is picking up the longer view, where they're trying to roll over here and here. You can see both of them are trying to roll over, just like our work is trying to roll over. So, and that is the yen. All right. Anything else? We've still got a good 8 to 9 minutes. Anybody see anything else out there? If not, I will go hunt down something else in here. Let's see. We usually go from here. We've done all the others, all the strange exotics. So we could go take a look at the stock indices. We can do that. That could be interesting. And we just looked at the Tech 100. Let's see if we can find it again now. Where's that at? Right there. There's the Tech 100. And that's been flirting, it's at all-time highs, the whole bit, whereas the S&P 500 right there is off it still hasn't gotten to, like, all-time highs is like 30, what's that? 30. Let's see if we can find, why can't we see that? Where's the high? Oh no, the all-time high is right over here in the almost a three. Is that three? That's maximums. 3,396. So we're a good 100 and some odd points away still, which is like 1,500 points on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And the Dow is worse, overall. It's trading in the 26,287. The all-time high is like almost 30,000. So it's like 36 or 3,700 points off of that. So the index that represents the older, simpler stock companies, I don't know if they're simpler, but, the less tech maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say if anybody is less tech compared to somebody else being more tech. The Russell, I was looking at the Russell this morning. That's funny you asked, Max. I was looking at that because it's basically gone unchanged over the last, like, I don't know, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. With everything else moving up, let's see if we can find it on here on J4X to start off with. Put my glasses on. See, I'm not sure if I have or have not looked at this. Let's see. On J4X. Let's see. So there is the Nifty 50 out of India. There's the Dow, S&P, Tech, and then there's British Aerospace. There's Hong Kong, FTSE, DAX. No, here I can do this. I'll show you that. Let's see. Let's go to. Let's go to Duke Day Future. Let's go there. And I'll show you where it is in our work, in the quant work. Let's see. All right, let's put it in there. Excuse me. Let's see. I don't think we need oats in there. We can delete that. No. Cancel. Put that back. And then what we do is let's change that. I should make a copy of that. That's something interesting. There's oats. Oh, that's July too. Okay. Let me make a copy of this and park that. I want to park that, and then I'll put the what is it, the Russell up there for you. Let me just park that in my Robin Tech page in case we go back and look at that. All right, well, we'll close something. Relax. Okay, let's do this. Let's close that. Close. To start off with. And then let's close. So we got Dookie Week and Futures. We'll keep that. Yeah, let's leave it up there until the end of the webinar. And then I want to take that and park it here. Paste. Let's try this. All right, let's do this. Robin, close that for a moment. Close workspace. Okay, there it is. I wanted to park this there, so copy that window. I'm going to put it there just for remembering it. Paste. There we are. Now over there, what we can do is we can get rid of it. And then what we can do is we can slide it into, get rid of that one too, and get rid of that one too, and we can get rid of that one also. And then we'll replace whatever that is in front of us. We will put the Russell in there. Oh, that's perfect because it's the S&P 500. So it's an index to an index, so that's fine. And let's see, what is that? That is, what is the, so that's a M2. There it is right there. M2 again for the weekly. There we are. Now, let's make that the full page. And as you can see here, it's fighting, it's easily pushing itself back into a sell. I haven't paid attention. Oh, that's right. We remove. Let's see. We can remove that. So it went into a sell here. Then it went into a buy. You know, it ran up nicely. This is the weekly. Daily. The daily's on top. So let's tighten that up. So you can see it had a nice run from the March lows, and it went from like 1,010 all the way up to 1,400. Actually, it got to 1,500 and change. It's been having real problems. Keep on climbing it. You know, it doesn't seem to have enough, push in it. And in this case here now, since the buy there, it did its oscillation. It went into a sell, then it went into a buy, then a sell, went into a buy again, and now we are flirting again this week with another sell. So the Russell has, I was watching that and I was looking at it this morning specifically for that reason, but I didn't look at it on a weekly basis. I was just looking at it on a daily basis. And I was thinking that, if we don't see strength from the Russell, then there's a good chance that, the markets may start to roll over. We're looking at, there's an old saying on Wall Street. If the generals lead and the soldiers don't follow, the generals get slaughtered. Okay. And so that expression was created back when there was General Electric and General Motors and General Tire and Goodyear and I'm trying to think what else was there. General Foods, and they would call them the generals. And there was a lot of other major companies, and so they would say they were the generals. And IBM, International Business Machines. And if they did not lead, if they were running up, making all-time highs or trading very strongly, but the rest of the market was weak, the chances were is that they were going to get beat up. They were going to get sold, because there was another adage in Wall Street, and that is, if you can't sell what you want, sell something else. So in other words, these big stocks are running up, and you're long stocks, and you want to get rid of them, and they keep on dropping in value, and so they go and sell the bigger stocks after a while, and that becomes like a waterfall, and they roll over. So I was thinking this morning, I was looking at Russell, and I was thinking to myself, let's see if they've gone out and taken the highs. Matter of fact, I looked at it yesterday too, and thought, geez, it's still in the in the 1428, 1440 area. It's not even in the 15s anymore. And I was thinking to myself, that's not the best of things for the overall market. Now they're taking the Nasdaq. Let's see, let's just do a file and save workspace here, and then what we'll do is we'll close that. Let me see how many windows are open still here. Maybe we even have the Nasdaq on here. Do we have the Nasdaq on here? I thought we had the Nasdaq on here. Let's see. Let's get rid of that one too. Who is this underneath? Crude oil. We don't need that either. We can get rid of that. And let's see if we can put the Nasdaq on here. Let's get rid of that one. Activate and get rid of that one too at the same time. And then here is the let's see. Okay, I put that there. So then here is the Nasdaq. And you can see, this is flying along all-time highs. And I was thinking, and there's your March low right there. So I was wondering, maybe they do a nice little correction somewheres in here. It is the summertime. You would think that they would try to at least challenge the 10,000 mark now, play a little underneath that. So that's why I said to MHB, if you're looking for a major move in something to try to make 400 or 500 pips, oil, the stock indices, there's the most potential I think at the moment on the downside. Silver, I was thinking was on the upside, but and then soybeans, they've already done it. We had a nice little move there that could definitely be considered. A full dollar in that thing is pretty exciting. So I guess that's about it. All right. Anyway, this is Doc from North America. I hope I've done good. Oh, I got to come up with a title. What do we call this today? What should we call today's market? We talked about everything. We looked at all the pairs. How about the strength of the dollar? I mean, that does seem to be happening. I think we see strength coming into the dollar. So maybe we should say dollar bottoming, something like that. All right. Anyway, this is Doc from North America. We will catch you all tomorrow. Same time, same channel. So ta-ta from now. Happy trails to you until we meet again.